Hey, what's up, everybody? Justin Millette here, and
Ryan Groeneweg with Mortgage Brokers of Alaska.
give us a follow on our YouTube. Check out our podcast, Real Alaska, that's dropping this week. And then, we are here today to talk about.
The difference between what a mortgage broker does and what a real estate agent does.
Yeah, so it's a common question that comes up.
All the time.
Yeah, all the time.
Every day for me.
Yeah, often about, what I do and what Ryan does. Obviously, both in real estate. Some of our jobs kind of mix a little bit,
Yep.
and I have a basic understanding of the mortgage industry. Ryan has a basic understanding of the real estate industry. However, his main job and focus is
Mortgage, mainly, and so you couldn't be expected to be an expert in all things mortgage, just like, that's my field. I do mortgage, and it's very complicated, just like real estate can.
Right.
But a lot of times people they mix them up, or they think that maybe one of us
does everything.
Yeah.
Obviously, as an agent, basically I piece buyers and sellers together, right? And I find buyers' homes. I help sellers sell homes. We dabble in the commercial world.
Yeah.
We find off-market deals.
Yeah.
And not only that, but we, talk about the market conditions. We do comparative market analysis for people that are looking to sell their homes, or maybe just wanting to get a refinance, which is where also Ryan will come in.
Sure.
So they'll get us an idea of what their home value is, potentially what an appraiser is going to think. We can give them kind of a rough idea. Obviously, their appraiser is a totally different aspect of real estate, right?
Yeah.
A lot more detailed version of market analysis, but we can kind of get you a ballpark figure.
Yep.
And so that kind of helps us determine pricing which they want to sell their home, as well as potentially how much money they can pull out if they want to do like a cash out refi or something like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's common. A lot of people, they don't quite know what those lines are between what a real estate agent does and what a mortgage professional would do. And that's understandable, really. It gets blurred at times, right? And we work so closely together on transactions that I definitely sympathize with people. A lot of times people, they'll come to me and they'll tell me, I'm looking for this type of house, this many bedrooms. And, that's information that is useful for me to know, but I'm not necessarily going to be the one that's, waking up every day and scouring the MLS to find that house. Like, that's your job.
Yeah.
Right?
Scouring is right now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And so, my job as a mortgage broker is I wake up every day and scour lenders nationwide to find them the best interest rate and closing costs. Right. So, whereas you, like you said, are matching people to homes out there, I'm matching people to banks and lenders or other financial institutions that are offering the best terms available for that day, or just to make sure they're getting the best deal they can.
Yeah, even the best program.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because not all exactly, right? So there's so many different programs out there, and not most banks only offer a limited number of programs, whereas as a private broker, I have access to a lot more. I mean, I have 20, 30 lenders nationwide.
Right.
Each one of them have 5 or 10 programs, and so if someone needs a specialty program that fits their needs, or maybe their credit's a little bit too low to go into a retail big bank and get a loan, I can help them out.
Yeah, and so that's a common question that I will get, especially if I'm trying, if they're already pre-qualified with someone else, typically like a large national company, right? That's doesn't have someone local to Alaska, then I'll kind of have to explain the differences between a broker and a lender and a banker, and what each one offers. And obviously being a broker, you have like you said, a kind of a wide spectrum of, you almost just kind of toss your net out into the world of investors, right? And check and see what, who's got the best what. You kind of almost, like we have talked before, almost like shop rates for that person instead of them shopping lenders for the best rate. You almost kind of just shop for them as part of it.
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly what it is I shop.
Right.
And so basically the way I explain it to people is just as if you were to buy an article of clothing at a retail store, right? People pay retail rates when they go into a big bank or something like that, right? Whereas with me, I have access to wholesale rates, and many of them, and so I can really find people the best program and the best terms for their specific situation. Because,
Right.
Believe it or not, there's not just like one rate every day. Like,
No.
today's rate's 3%, I mean, there's so many factors that go into an interest rate for somebody. I mean, credit scores, number of properties they own, whether they're self-employed, whether they're W-2, how long they've been in that work, you know what I mean?
All kinds of factors.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's really complicated for the average borrower to shop and get the best deal, and that's why my position even exists, right? And so that is my role, is to find the best terms and the best lender for the borrower, and then you as an agent, of course,
Right.
you're finding houses.
Yeah. So finding houses, negotiating contracts, right? We have a fiduciary responsibility to our clients, so it is protect their best interest and, their money, right? Because just like you, we, work on the same contracts. These are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars for a contract, right? So we want to protect, them buying that property, make sure they're not getting into something, overpaying for something, or, there's a bunch of red flags on this house, and we're not pointing those things out. Most of the time, clients are going to put down earnest funds, right? So we also want to try and protect those earnest funds, right? In case something happens in the contract and we have to back out of the deal, we would definitely want to try and capture that back, and account it and explain, the whole earnest funds process and all that stuff. And I think a lot of kind of what we do is education as well. Yeah. Obviously, as a realtor or an agent, there's so many of us, that I think most people get a majority of what we do, right? Buy and selling homes, help people sell, help people buy, show them properties, do these market analysis, that kind of stuff, because there's so many people on social media and Instagram and YouTube channels of all these people, plus all these TV shows like, $1 Million New York, with Ryan Serhant and all this stuff that talk about, they follow these real estate agents.
Selling sunset,
but what you don't see is a whole lot of like TV series about mortgage broker.
Oh yeah,
So
it's not near as sexy,
right?
I mean, it's a lot more. It's a lot. I would say. Well, first of all, there's way less of us, right? I mean, way less, and so especially private brokers like myself. So in order to be a private broker, you need licensing, national licensing, that you don't necessarily need to be a loan originator with another bank or institution.
Right.
And so, their barrier to entry is higher, and it's also, we're not out doing showings in $1 million houses.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
So,
You had a computer.
Yeah. Or you know what? A lot of time on the cell phone.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's me too.
Yeah. My screen time is. Let's not talk about that. Okay.
Well, mine too. So obviously, a lot of what we do is on the phone communication.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Which kind of takes us into the other topic, which was working together.
Yeah.
Right. So I get this question all the time, especially because I refer clients to lenders, because a lot of the time they'll come through my website or through some other avenue, and how I build business, right? Not pre-qualified.
Yeah.
So obviously in this market, or just in any market, I want to work with you once you're pre-qualified, but before that, I want to help get you pre-qualified. And part of that is connecting you with a lender or a mortgage broker, whatever. There's so many terminologies, but they all pretty much do the exact same thing, right? And that's to find you finance.
Yeah.
So, my job is to connect you with the right people to get you to that point, right? So I share with clients that if you're within 12 months of purchasing, you should start with initial check-in, right? Go over income, credit.
Find your budget.
Define a budget.
Yeah.
And then make sure that budget is reasonable.
Sure.
And so, obviously we work well together, which is why we're on film right now, doing this whole thing. But
that's part of it too. Is a lot of people think, oh, you're referring to Ryan, like there's something in it for you, right?
No.
That is so, 50 years. I mean, it's illegal.
It's illegal now. So
it's incredibly illegal and very, very well monitored.
Very, very well monitored.
And so, in addition to that, the reason that you and I work so well together is communication, right? So we've known each other for quite a while.
Yeah.
Friends. We were firefighters together. And it's just, like you said, communication is so important
Right.
with these deals
Right.
that, you know, I work with a lot of agents who may not communicate at a level that you and I communicate. And so I find that if there's an issue, problems get solved much quicker
Yeah.
and with much less stress for all parties, including the borrower.
Well, I mean, if you go from our previous world, right, of 911, EMS and fire, right, of problem solving in people's worst days, to like, you know, real estate mortgage world, where, you know, problem solving is not nearly as it's stressful, but a different kind of stressful. You know, but we still carry that work ethic and communication over that you have to have on a fire ground or an EMS call or something like that. Yeah. So I think it actually carries over well.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, basically every agent and lender is going to have of people they want to work with, and that is I don't get anything out of sending people to Ryan. What I expect, and which he understands, right, and that you understand, is that there's a level of service
Right.
that you're going to provide that I want my clients to experience.
Right.
You know, and same thing with if you refer people to me,
Absolutely.
because they understand that my level of service is high, right?
Yeah.
So
it's just, who do I want to work with?
Right.
You know, if I have the choice, which I rarely do, you know, I mean, the reality is 90% of the time people, they come to an agent first.
Right.
Because they see a house they want, then they want to get the house, they call you,
right.
But, you know, maybe they haven't been pre-qualified yet.
Right.
But, you know, when I have the choice, I like to work with professionals that I communicate well with, that I know are competent and are going to treat my borrowers right, especially if I'm doing the referral.
Right.
Right?
100%.
If you refer to somebody that drops the ball or just doesn't treat your client right, then how does that make me look? Yeah. I could work so hard and do such a good job, but at the end of the day, you know, they're going to associate me with that person.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's important to clear up, though, is, you know, just because you and I appear on camera together, it's because we are choosing to work together.
Right.
And we work well together.
Correct.
So.
Yeah, because we, like I said, we both understand the level and expectation of service. Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
absolutely.
That is definitely something that you'll get with Ryan, which is why I refer people to Ryan, because
likewise with Justin.
Do a great job.
Thank you.
You know, and the rates you give people are phenomenal. I think we even put out a little review thing from one of your past clients. Yeah. Like, they called you Mr. Low Rate.
Yeah, I kind of like that. I kind of like it. Is it too late to change my name?
Hey, man, you don't get to pick your nicknames.
That's true.
Nicknames pick you.
I could have a worse nickname than that.
Worse.
I'm happy. Yeah.
It could definitely be worse. Yeah, Justin Millett with the Spire Realty Group.
Ryan Groeneweg with Mortgage Brokers of Alaska.
And we will see you on the next one. Stay classy, Anchorage.